Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are in beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio, downtown. I had the opportunity to stay with some relatives, and this was my view for the weekend. Incredible view. Cincinnati, Ohio, pretty nice town. It's got that small town feel in a bigger city. Plus, I had a little pup to cuddle the whole weekend, too. That's a good girl. So, we get to the comic convention. It's an all weekend thing. Friday night, I get there kind of late. I'm only there for like about an hour. So what you're seeing is my Saturday day. So this is probably the biggest comic book convention I've ever been to. I love the entrance here with all the famous comic art. I'm heading up there. I'm like, there's a big group of people over to the left. I don't know what that was. I get up to the door. My homeboy stops me right there. Says, "You need to be over here to the left." Little did I know that all these people piled up almost just in droves. They were waiting to get in. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. I just kind of stood to the side and just let them wait there. But still got in. And this is the showroom floor. So one thing about this convention, this place was packed. So I know it doesn't look that way in this aisle right here, but it just got to the point after some more people started filing in that it was so hard to move that it was just difficult to do anything. It was kind of a negative part of the experience. This is not a comic show. Let me be clear right off the bat. This is something else. So I met this guy the night before, and he was interested in potentially buying some books. I didn't have them on hand that night, but I wanted to show him what I had today, so I brought it to him. He gets out the glasses, he's got to polish them off, he's cleaning them up, and then he's got this other lady with him there, and I think this is her first convention. She was very nice. My man studied these books. I mean, he was grading my graded books. I mean, he was like checking them for spine ticks. He let me know that my Ultimate Fallout 4 shouldn't have got a 9.8. I'm like, okay, so you're insulting my books while I'm trying to sell them to you. I'm like, I love that. This is God Loves, Man Kills, the X-Men graphic novel 5, I believe. This is one I've been looking for. I wanted to read this story. This was the 5th print. It was like $20. I couldn't pull the trigger on it. I want the first print. I asked him if he reads comic books, and he says he can't remember the last comic book he read. The wall books were very impressive. He had a Ghost Rider or a Marvel Spotlight 5, first appearance of Ghost Rider in like a 7.0. He was wanting $3,400 for that. I asked him if he had recently checked the prices, and he said, "Oh yeah, that was spot on." His prices were not good. Let me just say that. I pulled this Miss Marvel 8.5 out. I think he was wanting like $90 for that. It was a cracked case, one of the old CGC cases. I thought that was a really good price, and I was really considering buying that. At this point, he's still looking at prices and evaluating my books. Here's the first new Black Widow. I was looking at that. I think he wanted like $200. I didn't do anything with this guy. So the next guy I go to is this Donnie KS Comics. They had some decent wall books. Basically, I'm doing the same kind of strategy I've done at the other conventions where, I'm going around with my stuff. I see books that I'm interested in trading for and interested in seeing if he would be willing to buy them out straight out. I'm trying to find guys that aren't necessarily dealers that are just, wanting to just collect. I mean, personal collections. Well, this fell through too. He said, come back later after the con. So obviously these guys short on money, just waiting to see if they could make some money later. So I head over to this booth. I don't know how many times I encountered this situation. I go up to a guy and he's not the guy, so I have to wait for the other guy to come because he's the guy with the actual money and makes the real decisions. Again, they've got Tomb of Dracula 10, 8.5, and a Marvel Spotlight 5 5.0. So I'm trying to upgrade my Tomb of Dracula 10 that's in a 4.5, and I'm trying to get a Marvel Spotlight 5. So I thought this was an opportunity that I could trade for some stuff. So what kept occurring at this was my books were always overvalued and his books were always undervalued. So it was like that Marvel Spotlight 5, he had it for 1800. Recent sales at the time of this filming, it was like 1400, 1300, 1500. That was all the numbers I was seeing. He's like, "Nah, a GPA says 1800." And I'm like, "Okay." I mean, and then he's looking at my books and my Hulk 181, shit, it must have been like $200. That's what it must have been worth. I mean, at this point I was getting kind of mad because it was like dealers were kind of insulting my books. They were kind of insulting my stuff that I had brought. I mean, it was like this was a totally different feel, a totally different vibe than other cons that I've been to. This guy was pretty cool. And then these kids, this was too funny. He spotted my Secret Wars 8 and he wanted to see it. And he was like, "How much for that?" And I was like, $350. And then he saw the Hulk 181. He was like, "How much is that?" I told him it was like $4,000. And he kind of laughed. It was just like, it's just funny, like coming from a younger person's perspective, like this is a money game. And I actually told that other dealer, I was like, it's a bottomless pit of no return. These folks, I couldn't tell whose booth was what. They were kind of in with this other group. So I take a look at this Thor 225. Yeah, this is first Firelord. Firelord was always one of my favorite characters. I used to have my screen name back in the day was Firelord Boss. Man, that's cool, right? This was a pretty nice condition book. I think they were wanting like $200 for this. I was like, dude, these prices are just not good. I mean, they're just not good. Like, I'm not even really willing to wheel and deal. This guy, he's looking at the books. They said they have a Marvel Spotlight 5 next door. It's raw. So I'm going to kind of mosey over there. But there is something going on in the comic book community. And what's happening is everything's tightening up. People are wanting cold hard cash for stuff. I mean, I didn't see anybody buying the real big stuff. And they wanted $1,800 for that busted copy of that Marvel Spotlight 5. I mean, that might have been a 3, maybe. I could have gotten a 5.0 already graded for $1,800. Like, this is how crazy the prices are right now and how easily somebody could get taken. I just... If you can't already tell by my tone, this was not a great experience. So we took a break here. I got to see Christopher Lloyd. That was pretty cool. He seemed like a super friendly guy. I actually make my way all the way into the back of... I mean, this thing was huge. I mean, this was a huge convention. But so much of this convention was like stuff... I mean, it's kind of like disrespectful in a way how they make these conventions where it's just like, let's just pile all the nerds together, regardless of whether they're an anime guy or whether they're a Pokemon person or a trading card person, or they're there for the like fake weapons and cosplay and stuff. And I'm like, the person that's the comic book person more often than not is not the same person that's buying like the fake weapon. I don't know. I think I'm just not like a Comic Con guy. I'm a comic show guy. So this was kind of like a learning experience, but this kind of gives you an idea, well, how kind of packed tight it was in there. The cosplay at this place was at another level. I will say that. This was the best cosplay I've ever seen. I can't imagine what like San Diego Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con cosplay would be like, because if it's as good as this, it's incredible. This was a guy I found. He was like all the way in the back of the convention center. When you're trying to sell books, you're wanting to try to sell stuff to get the most value for your things is to a personal collector, not necessarily a dealer. Here I am using my dot card. If you don't know, I've been using this dot card recently, which basically has all my socials, my Instagram, my Venmo, like everything like on that card. And he was able to just scan it, and it took him to all my socials. I actually made a video about that. This was the line to go see Captain Kirk, William Shatner over to the right. I mean, the Trekkies, I mean, they were out in full force. They had William Shatner encased in glass, like, and I mean, he was just kind of trapped in his little smile and like pressed up against the glass. It was kind of funny. Like, I mean, obviously, if you're a Trekkie, like, you have to meet William Shatner. It was just kind of funny that you have to meet him in like a encased in glass. This is a pretty good example of like what it was like trying to move through the aisles. It's just like you get stuck behind somebody and you can't get around them, and then you're trying to like just find any comic guy. And I mean, you see this guy right here. I mean, he's not even anywhere close to any of the other comic dealers. He's just randomly back there. I just kind of felt sorry for him because it was like nobody even knows you're back there. You have to really kind of hunt. And then this stuff, like the Halloween stuff, I mean, none of this, I mean, and then like the keychains, none of this has any interest to me. Not to say that it's not cool or anything, it's just there's different people there. And then I get to somewhere like there where it's like high-end books. So I talked to this guy. This dude was weird as hell. And if he watches this video, I'm sorry, but the way he handled my books, he tried to get them all. See how he picking all the books up at one time? I was hating that shit. I just wanted him to just stop touching the books at that point. His hands were like covered in ink. Then he went on to proceed to kind of insult my books and how these books are in higher grades. These aren't really uncommon books. If you wanted like a humility check or like like humbleness, you wanted to be humbled, go to this Comic-Con. Bring your stuff, and all the dealers and all the buyers will insult your things, pick you apart if you want to be humbled. And then he did like the Captain Hook, whatchamacallit, the guy on the whiskey bottle, the rum bottle, Captain Morgan pose. I love that. So I keep going, I keep walking. I'm just discouraged at this point. I haven't sold anything, not even any reasonable offers. I've had my books insulted, picked apart, regraded in my CGC slabs. I'm like, dude, I drove like 5 hours up here for freaking nothing. I mean, and people seem like they're having a good time. I mean, this dude that's dressed as Thor from God of Thunder, I mean, he's, drinking his beer, prancing around. He's feeling like $1 million. I'm sitting there thinking, damn, I came up here for nothing. So what I ended up doing was, this is basically me trying to leave. Like, I'm trying to get out of there, trying to breathe. I'm like, let me just go get something to eat. Let me just kind of take a breath. Let me get this heavy backpack with all these slabs off of me. And let me just come back, and then let's just do some dollar bin digging. Let's do something like that. So I have some awesome tacos downtown, real tasty. Took the Cuddles pup for a little walk in this beautiful park. Cincinnati's a great town. I mean, a lot going on. Definitely can't fault that. It was just the Comic-Con was kind of like the worst part of the whole weekend. I really enjoyed spending time with my family. So I go back in and I go to this Queen City Comics dollar bins. And I mean, as you can see, there's just dudes like, and girls like, elbow to elbow digging through these bins. And I mean, there was enough space to actually look around. But you see that wristband? You see the smiles? That was the opposite of how I was feeling at this trip. But good news was, they actually had some good stuff in these dollar bins. Like, I was like surprised. I was like, okay, like some Iron Man stuff from the early 80s. That's cool. Classic dollar bin stuff, like a bunch of new issues that they couldn't sell at the shop, or like 90s Ghost Rider stuff. You know, you just kind of got to feel that the people around me doing this kind of were doing the kind of same thing I was doing. And then I found all this Fantastic Four stuff. I pull out my CLZ app, you can see that there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like high grade, like, you know, Fantastic Four books that I actually needed to complete, that I'm putting together that run. I mean, like, good Silver Surfer covers. I think there was a Kang the Conqueror cover in there. I mean, there was a lot of hole fillers for me in that Fantastic Four run. So I was like, okay, I'm getting hype again, and the people around me were kind of excited. It was kind of like a good energy. You know, I'm feeling better about it. I was honestly kind of tired because the night before I was out pretty late at this bar, this restaurant bar called the Eagle. I made some friends there. Shout out to Joe and his wife if you're watching this video. They actually bought me tequila shots. So basically, I had like a belly full of tequila the night before, and then the next morning, you know, you're dragging, trying to hunt some comics. But that's the key to any good Comic Con, is being semi hungover. Found some back issues of Department of Truth I was missing. I found a beat up Adventure into Fear. Second time Morbius is in that run. Yeah, I mean, these were solid dollar books. Like, I was actually like talking to the people next to me, and we were kind of all like, yeah, these are like pretty good dollar bins. The girl next to me, she was some kind of influencer or something. I don't know. She was probably some sort of Whatnot seller about to flip these books for like $100 a piece on Whatnot. This isn't. It's kind of a weird thing. It's like you're all like digging in the same bins and, you know, trying to find like something good. This isn't like a friend making situation. I mean, I try to be nice. I try to be like cordial when I'm talking to people, but it's just like you're all looking for the good shit. This guy, he had some pretty good slabs. You're getting like a first person view of him eating some chicken fingers there. This is me like trying to carry like all my dollar books around in this bag, and they're just all getting smashed. Comic Book World. These guys had some pretty good Golden Age stuff, and they had a bunch of slabs. The dude on the far left in the white shirt, he was a nice guy, but stuff was just not in my price range, especially with me not have been able to sell anything. So, all right, guys, let's get back home. Let's take a look at the haul. Let's see what we got. You know, we got a bunch of dollar stuff. Oh, yeah. This was the other good dollar bin. I meant to mention that. This was the other good dollar bin, and I was like, when I found this, I was like, okay, all right, this is the good dollar bin. We need to get back there. And then there was this other $2 bin. It was okay. All right, enough of that. Let's get back home. Let's show you the haul, and let's talk about what we got. All right, everybody, so we're back from the con. This is predominantly dollar books. There are a couple keys in here I'm going to show you. I did get this slab as well, but I didn't get this at the convention. I'll explain that here later. Kind of disappointed in the convention. To be honest, the best part about the whole thing was getting the opportunity to hang out with my family and meet some new people in Cincinnati. So without further ado, let's talk about what I've got here. Needed this back issue for the Chip Zdarsky Daredevil run. This is issue 34, so I completed that run. This is Donny Cates' Thor 25. Still just piecing that run together as I can get them. It's actually a pretty good run here in the beginning, at least. And as well as that Chip Zdarsky Daredevil run. That's really good in the beginning. Berserker, Keanu Reeves. I got 1 through 6 now. I actually like Berserker. And there's not a whole lot of super modern runs that I actually like. This is Department of Truth number 20. I think I have like 1 through 15. So again, just piecing that run together. This was one of the cooler ones. Now this copy's beat. I mean, this is like a 2, maybe a 3. This is Adventure into Fear, The Man Called Morbius, a Living Vampire, number 21. I thought that was a pretty good book. So Adventure into Fear, number 20, I believe, is Morbius's first time in Adventure into Fear, and it may be his first solo series. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. This is Captain America 239. And all of these so far are out of that $1 bin where I was kind of elbow to elbow. What was it? I can't remember the exact name of that bin, but that's where I'm getting these from. New Mutants 46, just again a run filler. I got 2 copies of this. This is The Adventures of Superman. One's a direct, one's a newsstand. This is when the series transitions from Superman to Adventures of Superman. This is a throwback cover. This is an homage cover to some Superman book. I can't remember the number. I feel like that's always a good book to get in a dollar book. And this is a great book. This is Green Lantern number 20 from the New 52. This is like the one major key out of that run. And this is that Jessica Cruz cameo. It's not her first full appearance. I think that's like Justice League 50 or 52 or something. I can't remember. It gets kind of confusing, but I try to get this book whenever I can because Green Lantern is going to be a thing, I'm hoping. This was cool. This was a dollar book as well. Ultimate Fallout, Spider-Man No More, issue number 1. Pretty good condition. All those books that are not. So I think Ultimate Fallout 3 is also valuable because I think there's a preview to Ultimate Fallout 4 in it. So none of the rest of those books are keys. This was actually the key that kind of excited me the most. This is Secret Wars 2, the variant cover. So I bought 0, number 1, and then 3 through 9 from Instagram. Shout out T. Ravis Comics. I needed number 2, so this is the first appearance of God Emperor Doom, like a different version of Doctor Doom. So I'm excited to read this. This is, I believe, the Hickman-Ribic run, and this is what they could base the movie on. So I'm glad to pick that up so I can finally read that series. These next issues are a huge run of Web of Spider-Man. So I wasn't collecting Web of Spider-Man. I have a couple issues from Kraven's Last Hunt when I bought those issues, but I got issue, 4, 5, 7. None of these are like keys, okay? I mean, there's not a lot of keys in the Web of Spider-Man. Of course, there's that classic Mike Zeck cover where he's like resurrecting. Of course, number 1 of this run. And then, of course, the tie-ins to Kraven's Last Hunt. But, I mean, this is a major Spider-Man title. Mid-80s, 85, I think. Maybe starts in 84, maybe 85. And these were all like sequentially numbered. I mean, they were just all there. And it was funny. I was like picking these books up, and the guy, I was like kind of paging through them, and there was like a guy waiting for me to get into that box that I was digging through, and he was like, "Are you gonna get any of those?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm probably gonna get all of them." So I think I might have snatched them right before he had a chance to. Web of Spider-Man 22 is a cool one. And also that one where it's like that anniversary cover. I try to get those of any series I can because they're just such great covers. So this is in that time period when the black suit was the big thing. And of course, first appearance of that black suit is in ASM 252 with that homage cover to AF-15. There's some debate about that, and then the Marvel Age book. This is a good cover. I bought 2 copies of that. I love those type of covers. 40. This is kind of a sketchy cover there. Wonder what Mary Jane's doing right there. 42. 72. This is actually the annual. Web of Spider-Man annual number 1, and then Web of Spider-Man annual number 3. So a nice little chunk of Web of Spider-Man there. Let's get into some Daredevil. This is an older Daredevil book, 25 center. Daredevil number 30. I mean, it's beat. I mean, it's low grade, but that would be a great book to slab. That's like a slab-worthy cover if you could get that one in like a 9-something. Daredevil 228. I have some just random Daredevil books. I have like a few keys, like Death of Elektra. I'd love to get First Bullseye. I actually saw a couple of those issues. I think Bullseye's a great character. He's a great villain. Super interesting. Daredevil's just awesome. anyway. So I'm excited to see him come into the MCU, and I don't know who's writing Daredevil now. Oh yeah, they transitioned Daredevil from the Man Without Fear to the Woman Without Fear. So Elektra is Daredevil now for some reason. Here's some more Batman issues. This is Batman 478. You know, if there's Batman issues that I'm missing and they're dollar books, I'm gonna get them. None of these are extremely rare. They're okay covers. This is a great cover. Joker kind of being in like a Satan cult of some sort. And then Batman, Rizzo, Azarello. I need to read this little run. I want to read everything. Brian Azarello, specifically Brian Azarello on Batman. These are the Fantastic Fours I was talking about in the video. I mean, nice high grade, mid to low 300 numbering Fantastic Fours. So I mean, this is like, you know, early 90s. So I mean, it's not like these are uncommon books, but for $1, yes, these are dollar books. So when I go to, like, when I'm looking through a dollar bin, I'm looking for stuff like this, and then I'm also looking for stuff to fill my more modern runs, my more recent runs. This one's a minor key. Can't remember why. This got to be one of the worst covers ever. I don't know. Like, it kind of like makes me sick looking at that cover. I don't know why. This is Iron Man 138. This is from 1980. I saw these. This is like, Iron Man's like a weird run. It's like nobody really collects that. I mean, I guess some people do collect it, but it's not valuable. I guess it's just highly printed, maybe. The speculation of Iron Man is obviously dead. Now it's all Iron Heart. Riri. Iron Man 146, 147, 48, 51. We got Ant-Man on there. And then 76. I've kind of just pieced an Iron Man run together with just $1 and $2 books. So here's my famous smiley face wristband, which I was not smiling much until I hit those dollar bins. So the big keys are obviously that Secret Wars first appearance of God Emperor Doom, and then this is a book I've been wanting, Batman 232. This is the first appearance of Ra's al Ghul, classic Neil Adams cover, Denny O'Neil story, Neil Adams and Dick Giordano art, Neil Adams cover. Great cover. Ra's al Ghul's a great villain. This is a book I've been wanting, so I actually didn't buy this book at the convention. I actually bought this book in Ashland, Kentucky, when I got to see that $1 million comic book collection before he was going to New York Comic Con. I was able to get this off of him. Got it for $300. I think that's a really good deal in a 4.5 mid-grade-ish type book. Quite a bit below fair market value at the time of this filming, so I was happy with that. Guys, kind of a letdown, Cincinnati Comic-Con. The best part of the trip was getting to see family and making some new friends and experiencing Cincinnati. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. If at any point in time you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you like this video, subscribe for more. Take care.